Hi everybody, it's Keelin here from Threshold Training Network. This week in our Coping with Change series, we're going to talk about acceptance. So to get started, I'm just going to ask you now to pause the video and grab a piece of paper. I have an envelope because I couldn't find a piece of paper, but any piece of paper at all. You can just find one now, pause this video and restart it when you're back. So, I want you now to get your piece of paper and just imagine that this piece of paper contains everything that you're struggling with. Difficult thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations, unhelpful feelings, painful memories. So I want you now to imagine that all those unhelpful thoughts, bodily sensations, situations, everything is contained on this piece of paper. Everything that you don't want in life. And I just want you to take the time now to really push it as far away as possible. Imagine this is everything you're struggling with. You just want to get it as far away from your face as possible. It's just pushing it away now. And just noticing what you're feeling as you're pushing away all these unwanted thoughts, feelings, and emotions, bodily sensations. So for me, I feel quite tense. I've only been doing this a minute and I feel quite tired. So imagine now I was to say for the next 10 minutes of this video, you had to continue pushing all this paper away. Usually when I do this in workshops and I tell people to continue doing this, they say, no way, and they put the piece of paper down. And it's funny, because that is the reaction I get when I do it in a workshop. Everyone's like, I'm not holding this out for 10 minutes. I'm too tired. This is too much. But it's interesting, you know, we wouldn't do it with a piece of paper for 10 minutes. But we do this all the time with unpleasant thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We want to push them away. We don't want them. We spend a lot of energy trying to fight them, dispute them, challenge them, debate with them. And this takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of energy. And as you can see from holding the paper out, for those couple of moments, my muscles are quite sore. So in this week's series, I'm going to ask you to do something radically different, which is putting the piece of paper on your lap. So here's me putting down a piece of paper which contains all the unhelpful, unwanted thoughts, feelings, and emotions I have. And I invite you now to do this and to just see how this feels. I guess for me, when I put down what I was struggling with, you know, now I feel like I can connect with the laptop, I can connect with everyone here, I can, you know, convey this very valuable message of acceptance, and I can kind of notice what's going on around me. And then I don't feel so tired because I'm not battling with what I don't want. So this is what this week is all about. So we're going to drop the struggle against our unwanted thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We're just going to learn to make space for them so they're still here, but hold them lightly. So how do we begin to hold our emotions lightly? We can begin by cultivating willingness. So when we think of acceptance, acceptance is a willingness to have your thoughts and feelings as they are in this moment without trying to change them. And the benefits of cultivating willingness is that we can increase our capacity to feel so we can learn from our experiences. We think of acceptance, you know, it comes from the Latin word to receive. So life is always calling us to receive the gift at any given point. Some gifts are better than others. So thinking of your birthday, you know, when you get a gift you really enjoy, it's good to savor that and really get into the experience of really enjoying that gift and feeling that appreciation. And life does this as well. Sometimes we get gifts that we really want, you know, an unexpected surprise, you know, that lovely phone call off a friend, you know, something lucky like, you know, finding that 5 euro on the ground. And then sometimes life, a lot like the presents we got on our birthday, don't give us what we want. So we may get some gifts that we really have no interest in. Sometimes we get really ugly gifts. I got a really ugly lamp for my birthday last year, and I really didn't even want that in my house. But it's similar to that. So life sometimes gives us gifts that we don't want, but it's important that we are open to them, because, you know, it's in our mistakes that we learn life's most valuable lessons, if we're open to it. So how do we create this willingness around our experience? And I know for myself, when I was cultivating willingness starting out, it can be a little bit tricky, because, you know, we're always going, that we don't really take that time to kind of reflect and notice and name. But it's a great place to start, because awareness is key. So acknowledging. So I invite you now to just take a moment here to just kind of sit in your chair, posture straight, straighten out our back, drop our shoulders, and just take a moment to reflect now. And just taking a moment now to notice what's coming up for you. Maybe if we could name it. Here's joy. Here's sadness. Here's anxiety. Actually hit my foot on the way to work. So for me, what I'm going to acknowledge is here's pain. So I have a bit of pain in my foot at the moment. I'm just giving the example of myself with the pain in my foot. So we've now acknowledged and then allowing. So there's pain in my foot from hitting it earlier. I don't like it. Didn't ask for it, but here it is. So sometimes it's easier for us to allow certain emotions or thoughts or feelings than others. So if you're really struggling with this, I invite you to just say that you don't like it, but allow it to be there. So I'm going to take 10 seconds now to just acknowledge that pain in my foot and allow it to be there. And I invite you to do the same with whatever is coming up for you right now. That emotion that you named earlier. Just taking a moment now. I'm going to take a few seconds to just allow it to be there and to invite it in. So I don't like it. Didn't ask for it. Here it is. And then the third step in the 3 A's of acceptance is accommodating. So allowing that emotion, bodily sensation, just run freely now. So for me, I'm going to breathe into that pain in my foot. So a good one with pain, if you ever experience pain, say headache or a little tummy ache, a good idea would be to breathe into it and then soften around the pain. So imagining the pain softening. So I'm just imagining the pain in my foot now softening. You can choose to do this in any way you want. So you can breathe into the emotion, breathe in and out. Kind of noticing where it is in the body. Sometimes when people feel sad or anxious, they may feel it in their tummy. Another way you can do this is just putting a hand on your stomach or wherever you feel the pain. And that sympathetic touch can really help decrease our levels of stress. So just allowing whatever is coming up to run freely through us now. So I will put up with this, the 3 A's of acceptance, and I invite you to just practice that skill when what we don't want shows up, noticing and naming what's coming up for us to increase our self-awareness, and then just allowing it to be there. That doesn't mean we have to like it, didn't ask for it, but here it is. I'm going to just take some time to make space for it. And then accommodating, so allow it to run freely. So if it's a little bit of pain, you know, kind of sitting in the pain for a second and just softening up around that pain. Maybe breathing into the pain. Just inviting it to move freely. The great thing about acceptance is you don't just have to cultivate that willingness skill or that acceptance through mindfulness. There's many ways we can do this. Any activity where we're deepening our senses, we're kind of deepening our emotional experiences, are very great for helping us cultivate this acceptance around emotions. So I'm going to give a few ideas now of things you can do. Some of them you're probably doing already. So anything where we're using our hands, so painting, clay, sewing, knitting, finger painting, coloring books, getting a marker to a coloring book. That is great. Anything where we're coming into our senses, we're using our hands, is great for cultivating acceptance. Through the arts, through being creative as well, we can express our emotions and really deepen our emotional lives. And that can be through writing a poem, writing a song. If we can take our emotions or what's going on for us and put it into a movie title or song title, that can be another way of cultivating acceptance. So the last thing we're going to do today is we are going to imagine our feelings as objects. I invite you now to sit in the chair in an upright position. Just take a deep breath in. And just acknowledging any feelings that are coming up for you right now. And just naming feeling. So here's joy, here's sadness, maybe a multitude of feelings could be coming up for you right now. Just choose for now the most predominant one. And imagine this feeling as an object. So, is the feeling liquid or solid? If we were to give the feeling a shape, what would that be? Would it be rectangular? Would it be square? Or would it be round? How big is it? Is it small? Can you hold it in your hand? Is it bigger than that? Is it light or heavy? And if we were to give it a temperature, what would that be? Would it be hot or would it be cold? If we were to give the feeling color, what color would that be? Would it be transparent or opaque? And what does the surface feel like? So is it rough or smooth or wet or dry? So I will leave a couple little notes in the end of what we learned about today, as always. And just kind of practicing those skills, you know, practicing the 3 A's. Or even just starting with the 1A if you find it too difficult. That's how I started. For me, it was acknowledging for a time, you know, doing the noticing and naming, and then I built the other skills. Or maybe It could be imagining feeling as an object, an external object. And what does that look like? That's a great way of getting in touch with our emotions and kind of deepening our emotional senses. Or it could be painting. You know, what today could you do? What hobby could you do that would enrich your emotional life? Be it getting out your pens and papers and coloring books, or ringing that friend of yours, or just doing those visualizations of surfing on an ocean of feelings and emotion. As always, I will put up the takeaways, and I hope everyone has a really lovely week. And next week we will be talking about nutrition and keeping our bodies physically well and healthy as restrictions lift. Have a great day, everyone.